tonight on the eve of 100 days.
So help me God.
The president is set to deliver his first joint address to Congress.
And protesters demand answers after newly released video brings more questions over the North Carolina police shooting of the death of Andrew Brown.
Plus, new COVID-19 guidelines okaying indoor worship for masked and vaccinated churchgoers.
This as the humanitarian crisis on the southern border worsens.
Yes, I was worried, but God granted this opportunity.
All this and more tonight on Faith Nation.
Another sweeping spending bill, this one from the cradle to college. Good evening and welcome to Faith Nation. I'm John Jessup.
And I'm Jenna Bratter. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday. President Biden expected to tout his American Families Plan just hours from now in his first address to Congress.
The president's joint address on Capitol Hill comes nearly 100 days into his time in office. Mr. Biden presiding over the distribution of more than 200 million vaccine shots in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Nearly $2 trillion stimulus package, and plans for more multi-trillion-dollar bills are in the works. All this as the nation grapples with a reckoning on race and justice amid protests in the wake of police killings.
And here to kick things off, veteran journalist Ray Suarez and CBN News chief political analyst David Brody. Both of you welcome. Good to have you with us today, this evening. Ray, we'll start with you. Just general thoughts. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, it is a victory lap of sorts for a still young presidency. Cast your mind back to January. Thousands of people a day were dying from COVID-19. Tens of thousands of people per day were being diagnosed with the infection. New infections are way down. Deaths are way down. He overshot his promise to deliver 100 million vaccinations by 100 million vaccinations. So I think Joe Biden can feel confident that there is some light at the end of the tunnel and it's not an oncoming train. And apparently he's been encouraged by events to think big. And this is where the tough part starts. But certainly a good watershed moment for the president.
David, we'll let you weigh in there, too. What are your thoughts as we head into tonight?
Well, clearly he's going to tout the accomplishments, the stimulus bill, and not to mention, what's happening on the COVID front. This just in, he's not going to give Trump one iota of credit, even though there is credit to be had there. And this would be a good time to show unity. You know, he always talks about unity. Why would he not give the prior administration some credit on developing the vaccine or helping to develop the vaccine in the first place? He always talks about unity, but he doesn't do it. And so, that's going to be unfortunate. We are going to hear talk of unity, but the problem with Biden has been all talk and no action. As a matter of fact, the action has been on the liberal side. It's been a liberal smorgasbord from day one. He's President Joe Biden, but is he really President AOC? I mean, you have to kind of wonder exactly what has happened to Joe Biden. What happened to center-left Joe Biden? It's non-existent, and it might sound flowery tonight, but it's going to be straight up liberal. $6 trillion worth in 100 days, John and Jenna. $6 trillion is what he wants to spend.
Ray, to David's point about giving credit where credit is due, that 200 million mark with the shots in the fight against COVID-19, was that going to happen with or without Biden in office?
No, I don't think so, frankly. Ron Klain is at his elbow, who helped shepherd the Obama administration through H1N1 in the response to Ebola. They had a better plan, a faster plan, and they rolled it out more quickly. A lot of Donald Trump's plan consisted of saying to the states, here's your vaccine, you figure out how to get it into people's arms. I think Brody's right that some credit is due to the Trump administration for helping fund Operation Warp Speed and getting a smorgasbord of vaccines, not just one, but a bunch, ready to go into American arms early this year. But much more than that, how much credit you're going to give a guy who really botched America's response to the vaccine? I think if he spends as little time talking about the past as possible, that's probably a good technique.
David, so the American Families Plan, what President Biden will be touting and largely selling to the American people tonight, $1.8 trillion. This on the heels of two other major spending plans in the trillions of dollars. President Biden says this will be paid for by taxing high earners. But even if you do that, it won't fully pay for all of these multi-trillion-dollar plans. Where, David, will all of this money come from? Does the administration know?
Well, they know on paper, but between paper and reality, there's a much difference. There's a difference between paper and reality for sure. I mean, they hope the corporate tax rate will be increased to 28%. Look, that's probably not going to happen unless they can do a budget reconciliation situation there, because Joe Manchin has said he's not into 28%, even more like 25%. So there might be some money there. But look, you're going to hear Joe Biden say the word free quite a bit tonight. Free community college. He'll talk about free universal health care for folks. But just remember, and everybody knows it's 101 stuff here, free doesn't mean free. When the federal government says free, this just in, it's not free. You're paying for it. Taxpayers are paying for it. And Joe Biden and many of the liberals, they're not paying for it. They're using your money to send others to college and for universal preschool. Excuse me.
All right, gentlemen, we have to leave it there, but we'll all be watching tonight, and we hope you'll join us with some reaction.
Thanks.
Thanks, gents. Well, tune in tonight to our coverage of the president's address to Congress. We'll be here, Jenna, myself, David, and others across our CBN News channel, all of our platforms, YouTube, and the CBN News app beginning at 8:45 Eastern.
Well, hope is on the horizon in America's fight against COVID-19. The CDC announcing relaxed mask guidelines this week.
But health officials are also cautioning our return to normal hinges on as many people as possible getting fully and quickly vaccinated. For more on how Americans are reacting to the new guidelines, we go to CBN News Capitol Hill correspondent Abigail Robertson. Abby, I take it a lot of people are happy about these new guidelines.
Oh, that's right, John. And we're still seeing some people cautious to ditch their mask outdoors. But for the most part, many people are celebrating this news, and especially as we're seeing temperatures outside warm up.
I think everyone's kind of ready for this.
The CDC recommends fully vaccinated individuals keep wearing masks at indoor events like worship services. But many churches in states without mask mandates are letting their parishioners decide whether or not they want to mask up.
I think it's really important, particularly within the body of Christ, that you respect personal agency.
A group called Christians in the Vaccine wants to help pastors separate fact from fiction when it comes to discussing the vaccine with their congregations.
I do think that we just have an issue that a lot of people in the congregation are not looking to pastors for leadership on this particular area, and the people they are looking to for leadership are manufacturing an awful lot of distrust.
But as the U.S. starts to see the first glimmers of normalcy,
there's no medical facility, proper facility.
The world's worst COVID outbreak is unfolding in India.
The healthcare system has collapsed around us. Hospitals have shut their gates. Places are running out of medical oxygen. There's no ventilators to spare. Medicine has run short. And so many people are desperate to get help.
With overcrowded hospitals, people are begging for medical assistance in the streets. And in New Delhi, makeshift crematoriums are popping up to handle the increased casualties.
They're setting up sites next to the official cremation grounds in empty lots and parking lots and parks. And they're lighting on fire dozens of bodies at once.
Countries like the UK are racing to help, flying in ventilators and oxygen contractors. President Joe Biden also pledging U.S. support.
We'll be able to send actual vaccines to India, which will be my intention to do.
Even with help on the way, the situation is quickly spiraling out of control. And health experts in India fear that we haven't even seen the peak of the current crisis. John, Jenna.
All right, Abigail Robertson, thank you very much. And here with us now is Penny Nance, President and CEO of Concerned Women for America. Penny, welcome. Good to see you. So the CDC's new guidelines allow for fully vaccinated churchgoers to worship indoors as long as they are wearing masks. Of course, as you know, Penny, a lot of Christians have been going to church for months now. Is this long overdue?
Well, and let's recognize that the CDC has no authority, right, over these churches. And so there's been all these lawsuits against governors who actually, state governments who really do have authority. You saw just recently, in fact, Monday, the Supreme Court vacated a Ninth Circuit decision that was trying to force churches or keep churches from meeting in person that Governor Newsom in California had pronounced. And so we recognize that there is a First Amendment right for us to practice our faith. And beyond that, church is essential. It's essential to our spiritual health. It's essential to our mental health. And so we have now pastors around the country who hopefully are recognizing that we're not in the same situation that India is in, as sad and tragic as that story is. The United States has the vaccines. We have it available for almost everybody, well, for everyone that wants it, and we can get it very quickly. So it's incumbent upon church members to take responsibility for themselves, but I also believe that it's really important for pastors to take leadership and to reopen their churches and bring our communities together, and particularly important for our young people who are suffering from lack of community.
Penny, along those lines, a lot has been written and discussed about the unintentionally harmful impact of pandemic precautions. You tweeted a recent Wall Street Journal article about the more than 1 million mothers who are missing from the workforce a year into the pandemic. Have you guys seen that evidence play out at CWA?
Yes. Yes, of course, we're the nation's largest public policy women's organization. And we have mothers who are desperately trying. Some of them are single moms who are providing for the income for their family, for the rent. And how are they supposed to provide the education full-time for their kids, their young children who are home, who can't be left alone, when their school is closed, and work? And so there's this burden on mothers in which, in states where the governors and even our president has chosen the teachers' unions over the needs for mothers. And so what the Wall Street Journal was pointing out is women can't do it all at the same time. We can't work and take care of our children and do, do school and homeschool, and we need help.
All right, Penny Nance with Concerned Women for America, thank you so much, and we appreciate all of your insights this evening.
God bless
Penny.
you.
Coming up, a judge renders his decision on releasing body cam footage, or controversial body cam footage, the latest in the shooting death of Andrew Brown Jr.
Before you marry is a bad idea.
Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faith Wire. Monday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel. The Global Lane takes you around the world, providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Thursday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Welcome back. Tonight, a judge in North Carolina has decided against publicly releasing body cam footage of the shooting death of Andrew Brown Jr.
And that footage reportedly also showing Brown backing his car into the officers before sheriff's deputies opened fire. CBN's Dale Hurd has more.
The judge's decision not to release the body cam footage to the public was based on two factors. One was the safety of the officers shown in the video, and also that it could ruin the chances for a fair trial. Superior Court Judge Jeff Foster did rule that multiple body cameras and one dashboard camera must be shown to Brown's family within 10 days, with the faces of the officers blurred and parts redacted. The county district attorney says that video shows Andrew Brown Jr. hit law enforcement officers with his car before they opened fire.
The car goes in a reverse position. The law enforcement officer is forced to release the door handle, and the car is backing up.
New street camera footage shows the scene minutes before Brown was killed. Deputies piled in the back of a pickup truck, turning the corner, jumping out. An autopsy showed Brown was shot 5 times, 4 in his arm, and a shot to the back of the head that took his life.
So it went into the base of the neck, in the bottom of the brain, the skull, and got lodged in his brain.
Andrew Brown's family and its lawyers and supporters arrived at the courthouse this morning, led by Brown's 92-year-old grandmother, Lydia Brown.
We all need answers, and we just can't get it. It's stressing us out a lot. You know, we haven't been eating, sleeping like we're supposed to. It's just eating us up.
Local pastors held a prayer rally in Elizabeth City today.
Come on, you all. We speak peace in Jesus' name. One more time. We speak peace in Jesus' name.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper has called for a special prosecutor, and the FBI's Charlotte field office plans to work closely with the Department of Justice to determine whether federal laws were violated. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Thanks, Dale. Up next, thousands of migrants crossing the border illegally. Our first-hand report on how they land in the U.S.
Want to be a part of a community that inspires your spiritual growth while winning prizes? The all-new CBN app. Connect with the community for prayer and encouragement. Track and set spiritual goals. Enjoy conversation starters with friends and family. And collect points to win prizes. The all-new CBN app. A great place to belong. Download the app at cbn.com/mobile. Grow, connect, have fun. The all-new CBN app.
On the home front.
Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. CBN honors the men and women in our military with an initiative called Helping the Home Front. It partners with churches across the country to meet the needs of their military families, from repairing homes to wiping out medical bills for wounded veterans.
Wednesday at 3 on the CBN News Channel.
Too often, we carry baggage from our past. You know what it's like. It affects everything and everyone in our lives. It's always there, weighing us down and keeping us from achieving true happiness. But do you know God never meant for us to be trapped in the past? You can be free of your baggage. Learn how God's forgiveness leads to changed lives and new beginnings. Call the 700 Club.
Well, President Biden reportedly will make a pitch to pass immigration reform tonight at his speech amid a surge of undocumented immigrants along the southern border.
CBN's Tara Mergener recently traveled to Texas to find out where the thousands of migrants each day go.
Signs of the migrant surge, like these pants left behind, are obvious on the border. But experts say the problem is increasingly being felt across the nation in areas far from the Rio Grande Valley. Sneaking into Texas's Rio Grande Valley, now by the thousands per day. Most traveling through multiple countries to get here in search of the American dream.
Were you worried that once you got here, if they would let you in or not?
Yes, I was worried, but God granted this opportunity.
Record numbers taking that same chance, nearly all paying smugglers to get them here, then turning themselves into border agents. And within hours, dropped off by the dozens at area shelters. Bus stations.
We supply them with backpacks that'll have water and blankets, masks, a snack pack.
And even airports. On our plane to Dallas, migrants packed the flight, some with first-class tickets. Due to the lenient immigration policies now in place, most will never face a judge.
Usually you're given a court date and you are supposed to appear, which most don't appear, but at least you're given a court date. Now they're not even given a court date.
Once again, we have to begin with the rising cases of coronavirus in the U.S.
Not to mention, this is all happening during a pandemic. Forget temperature checks, as Border Patrol only tests migrants with symptoms. Others are checked at pop-up sites like this one at the Brownsville bus station. We saw how those testing positive were placed across the room from others, yet they still boarded buses bound for cities across the U.S., some likely spreading COVID along the way. Organizations like Catholic Charities are also in the middle of the chaos. The difference we saw is that they test hundreds of migrants each for the virus. Anyone testing positive packed into vans and sent to area hotels where they are urged.
We'll test them every single day until we see a negative test result. In the meantime, they get cared for, meals and anything they need.
But not forced to quarantine.
We're in the middle of a pandemic. For so long, we've been told, stay home. Kids cannot go back to school. Keep your business closed. I don't understand what their comprehension is, to allow so many people to come in.
According to law enforcement, that large number is also due to smugglers who are cashing in to the tune of billions of dollars.
Do you think that the increasing numbers coming over right now is going to create more opportunity for these smugglers?
Yes, I firmly believe that it's going to increase the numbers of stash houses. The individuals that are crossing the river, they pick them up along the river in a vehicle and bring them to an area such as this one here.
Migrants, some kidnapped, others running from the law themselves, are often kept in deplorable conditions as their keepers demand more money to take them deeper into the U.S., often along with drugs.
What kind of people hide in stash houses?
We've had elderly, from male, females, female with a newborn, children.
Until recently, Border Patrol's intel team conducted hundreds of stash house raids per year. But we're told many have been reassigned to caring for the migrants once they cross the border, leaving law enforcement to catch smugglers on the next leg of the journey on the nation's highways and back roads.
They try alternative routes. They're always looking to find different routes to smuggle, whether it's humans or narcotics.
Hidalgo County constables are among those getting federal money to pay for overtime on border security. That includes traffic stops like this one, where we saw officers suspicious of a speeding car full of young men heading north.
This is just one of a number of these stops just in the last, really few minutes.
Our deputies, along with Border Patrol, have conducted more than 8 to 10 traffic stops within the last 30 minutes. And obviously, they got one.
And as we learned of another disturbing trend, U.S. citizens are increasingly helping migrants evade authorities. All of this leading to the same question: who and how many more migrants get away each day? In Hidalgo County, Tara Mergener, CBN News.
And still ahead, once in a blue moon, we get a pink moon, the rare phenomenon and when to catch it.
Are you suffering from feeling tired or worn out during the day? Can you not turn off your brain at night? You are not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor, and I've partnered with the Christian Broadcasting Network, and we're going to bring you some unbelievable information that you can use tonight to get a better night's rest.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 or go to cbn.com to get your free copy of Protect Your Sleep today.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living Tuesday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Hillsborough Falls man, come.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Well, finally tonight, if you've looked up at the night sky in the last week on Monday and Tuesday and thought it looked a little brighter than normal, there's a reason.
I definitely thought that last night, actually. April's full moon reached the closest point to Earth in its rotation so far this year. But that's not the only reason it's unique. The full moon appeared bigger and brighter and is just one of 2 supermoons in 2021. April's full moon is called the pink moon, the name coming from pink moss, which is one of the earliest flowers in spring in the eastern United States. The next full moon will be even closer and even brighter and will appear at the end of May. John, I looked it up. The May moon is the flower moon.
Oh, I love these names. The pink moon and flower moon.
Yeah, spring is in the air.
Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.